Relapse prevention is spoken about a bunch in the chapter, and it's really important. Relapse prevention actually starts the moment that treatment begins, so we're constantly trying to figure out how the individual, if depending on their stage of change, again, everything starts there, but following stage of change assessment, trying to figure out how are we going to help individuals to not fall back into the pattern of use that they had prior to accessing services. And relapse prevention is a huge, huge topic in drug and alcohol treatment. And what are your thoughts now? What is your understanding of relapse prevention? Some of you may have different experiences. Relapse prevention is also used across the board in mental health treatment for depression, for schizophrenia, for bipolar disorder. I'm always talking about relapse prevention with clients and families that I work with. So that's a huge topic area. If you'd like to just reflect on what your thoughts are with what the chapter said on relapse prevention. Again, any questions or comments on that would be great. I wanted to articulate the difference between abstinence and recovery. So abstinence is just not using substances anymore. Recovery is the opportunity to fundamentally transform one's life. Many of you may be familiar with the concept of the dry drunk, and a dry drunk is someone who doesn't drink anymore but still exhibits all of the behaviors of the time when they were drinking. And that means we can take the substance away. Someone can stop using a substance but still exhibit a lot of the same kind of quote-unquote dysfunctional behavior that they were exhibiting while they were using. So the opportunity to enter into recovery and sustained recovery is really the ability for one to shift how they think, what they think, how they interact with their own intrapersonal cognitive processing, and how they interact with others in their environment. That's, again, I may have said before, but one of the reasons I love working with addicts is the opportunity for fundamental transformation. It's very transpersonal, in my opinion. The opportunity to decentralize the ego, to decentralize the sense of self as the most important, the little s self, as opposed to the more spiritual humility that comes when we recognize that we aren't the center of the universe. And with addicts, a lot of times that's one of the fundamental problems, is the reification of the ego. And drugs of abuse really kind of essentialize the ego and reinforce the strength of narcissistic tendencies. And so recovery is the transformation of that. There's an author that calls it the Copernican revolution of the psyche. So just as the earth was moved from our understanding, transformed when we understood that the sun was the center of the universe and not the earth, for the addict who's moving from addiction to abstinence to recovery, they learn that they're not the center of the universe, that they are but a planet orbiting around all of the source, whatever that may be, of the universe. So I could go on there. Again, love to hear thoughts on that. That's really gets into the transpersonal opportunities for growth that treatment offers. And there's a lot written in the chapter, a lot toward the end, about treatment specificity. So cultural specificity, sexual orientation, having people who, for example, gay men and crystal meth. There's a huge problem in the gay male community in San Francisco, and I don't know if it's like this across the country or throughout the world, but in San Francisco there's a huge problem with crystal meth in the gay male population, not so much in the lesbian population. So targeting treatment by sexual orientation, by drug of choice, by age, gender, culture, ethnicity, that's the gold standard to really try and specialize treatment as much as possible. Theoretically, that's a wonderful idea. Pragmatically, it's very difficult. I know when I was the clinical director at a program, we tried to have treatment tracks, and you need a big census, a lot of people coming through treatment in order to develop really specialized treatment tracks. Some programs are able to do it that are large enough, but it's very difficult, though it is the gold standard, so that's something to keep in mind as you move through. If you have exposure to treatment facilities, are they even making an effort to have specialized treatment groups? Because we really want to, early on in the process, help people to understand that they're not alone. And the more similar the problems are, the more similar people are and the more similar the problems people are faced with, the easier it is for that normalization to take place and for people to really understand that they're not alone. If you stick, I don't know, a person who's an alcoholic in with a room full of, say in their 50s or 60s, in with a room full of young adult heroin addicts, I don't think that there would be a lot of strength in that group for the alcoholic. So really trying to fit the person with the treatment community that's going to be most effective. So I'm almost at 20 minutes here, so I'm going to stop. There's so much to say with treatment. I hope what I've said has been coherent and clear for everyone. Please address any of the questions that I asked in your comments moving through the next couple of weeks. I hope you enjoy the reading. Again, don't burden yourself with reading every single page, but do check out the points that are of most interest to you or where you have the most questions. And we will continue the dialogue online, and I will post another video in a couple of weeks. Okay, be well everyone. Bye.